All your favorite wrestling shows rolled into one. Welcome to the We Book It podcast. Let's start the show.
Good Monday evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Monday Night Royal Dog. I am your host, Coach, and I am joined once again by my awesome co-host and the most awesome producer in all the land, Big Daddy C.
What's going on, man? How's everything going?
Well, it's a little me right now because my Blues finally lost a game. It's back to reality. 12 in a row. Can't complain too much. It was inevitable that the streak would end soon. I'm going to pour one out for the boys tonight.
Are you guys in the playoff contention?
Yes, they're holding the first wild card right now. They could have clinched tonight with a win, but today, I guess.
Yeah, I'm hoping my Black Hawks get it together next year. I'm glad the record was not broken against us. It was tied, but not broken. It's good to have one of the original six be a part of history at any moment, but not on, I won't say on the bad side of history, really, because it's not it was an individual record, not a team record. So couldn't really hold my head low on too much if it did happen against us. But congratulations to Mr. Alex Ovechkin breaking the all-time goals record formerly held by Wayne Gretzky. All props to him. Same amount of games. It's crazy. Same amount of games. And on the same day he got the same day that they won the lottery to draft him.
Oh, I didn't know that one.
Yeah, so April 6th, 21, how many every year? Yeah, 21 years ago. Yeah, that's when they won the lottery to be able to draft him later on that year. So yeah, it's crazy how time flies, man.
History is weird sometimes, man.
Oh yeah, definitely, especially in sports.
Well, to our jam-packed Monday Night Raw, we are just 2 weeks away from WrestleMania, and the storylines are developing and almost finished before Mania. So let's get right into it. A nice little contract signing with Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, and Io Sky to kick off Monday Night Raw. Adam Pearce is out there. He said that in a triple threat match, Bianca signed the contract, Rhea signed the contract, but there was a lot of disrespect towards Io because Rhea and Bianca were all up in each other's face. Well, screen Io finally had enough and was about to leave before she jumped on the top ropes and drop kicked Rhea into Bianca before signing the contract and walking out. Short and sweet, to the point. I like that opening. Was surprised though by Bianca getting more boos than usual. WWE is going to be pushing for that heel turn here eventually. See, what do you think of our opening segment?
Fireworks as usual, man. It's pretty much a continuation of what's been happening, and just finally that we're able to get, the announcement of the match that we've been predicting for the longest, for the last month or so. Triple threat match between these three. Every time they've been in the ring together, there's been some chaos. Io, for her to be the champion, she's trying to make sure, hey, I won this title. I'm not. Don't treat me as an afterthought. Like, don't do it. Because clearly I won this title by, you two bickering at each other and you got distracted and I ended up winning it. So she's trying to let them know, hey, don't forget about me now. Don't disrespect me. And so, oh damn, hold on. God damn it, Mike. Wrong banner was up. But yeah. I know people gonna be looking at this like Cubs. But no,
I'm here for wrestling, damn it.
Exactly. Yeah, he might be recording his stuff simultaneously right now, but but I believe that I would not be surprised if EO retains, because of this whole thing with Bianca and Rhea. I don't know how long it will be before Bianca turns heel. I know that I'm pretty sure they're not just going to like let her forget about the stuff that's going on with Jade and Naomi. Pretty sure she's going to interject herself in that at some point. But as far as this, I think I want Rhea to win it back. But I know it's been a hot minute since Bianca has won it. This would be a new title for her to win. And so she's been Raw Women's Champion, SmackDown's Women's Champion. So this would be a new belt for her to win, if she does happen to get it. So we'll see what happens at Mania. But, I would not be surprised if EO retains.
All right, moving on to our first match of the night. We get a Women's Intercontinental Champion, Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. And all in all, a very solid match. But there was something that was said before the match started, and it was an announcement that there was going to be a women's tag match on SmackDown for a opportunity at the Tag Team Championships at WrestleMania. So we are getting a women's tag team championship match at WrestleMania. We will find out who is the Friday. But ironically, Bayley and Lyra will be tag team partners for the gauntlet match. So that is going to be interesting, and it kind of developed throughout this match. Bayley was in control for most of it. She put Lyra in a Boston Crab that almost looked like Lyra was going to tap, but she didn't, got out of it. Bayley tried to hit a rose plant, lost it, got into a kind of a roll-up jackknife cover, and got the win. Bayley clearly frustrated. Lyra went over to shake her hand, saying, "Good job." And was walking away, and then she stopped, came back in, apologized, and hugged her, still looking at that Intercontinental Championship. But intrigue now for Friday Night SmackDown, tag team partners together. I'm pretty much looking at Bayley turning heel here pretty soon.
Yeah, I foresee that happening at some point. We've Bayley as a face, I feel like it doesn't hit anymore. Because ever since she dropped the whole hugger gimmick, it's kind of hard for her to really get back to being a true baby face. Especially now at this point in her career, like she's evolved so much, it's hard to go back to that. And so I feel like she's one of those ones that can't we talked about it yesterday, like superstars that can like really pull off the tweener role where like they can have heelish tendencies but still come off as a baby face. I feel like Bayley is one of those that can't. She's not one of those rare ones that can be a tweener. And so I feel like it's probably best to turn her back heel. So we'll see how that plays out. But her and Lyra as a tag team, I'm not for it, honestly. I think I could see them having a little bit longer feud over that women's Intercontinental Championship. I'll be excited to see what they do with that situation there.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
So we get to our next match, which is the LWO versus El Grande Americano. And I'll tell you what, the Minnesota crowd, they loved them some El Grande Americano. I think it's the Chad Gable resemblance. But, I mean, the crowd was hot, and these guys delivered lots of great tag team action. And a six-man, it can be tough sometimes, but they showed lots of good chemistry and then some really great spots. Jumping on, or I'm sorry, it was Wild first. Wild pretty much running up the back of Julius Creed and then doing a somersault into Brutus Creed, and then El Toro then telling the referee to get out of the way and jumping onto the top rope and doing it. It was probably a 720 onto Julius Creed, like a 720 spin. It was and then a lot of counters, but eventually it was El Grande Americano getting a steel plate from Ivy Nile, inserting it into his mask and headbutting Dragon Lee victory. I'm going to be honest, see, when this storyline first came out and we were on this together, I had no idea what they were going to be doing with this. And I still kind of don't. It's entertaining because I was definitely getting bought in a little bit more with it. Again, no idea where they're going with this, but if you're going to keep me entertained, thank you for doing that. Great match overall.
Yeah, I think it's not so much as American made. That's the issue, honestly. It's really LWO. Like it's like we think about factions, man. They gotta have some backbone, man. Like, make me believe that y'all can hold y'all own. Like it just seemed like every time they in the ring, it just seemed like they just look pitiful, man. Like at the end of any match, like, or any segment where they just ends up being the one on the bad end of the stick, getting jumped, getting brutalized. Like it
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, if it wasn't for Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee, what would they be? What's the name already left the group?
Selena.
No, not her. The one that turned on them a couple of years ago.
Oh, Carlito.
No, not even Carlito.
Santos. Escobar.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, like, so it like the group don't hit the same no more because after all that, so they kind of lost their edge a lot, because they didn't have at least two guys that are considered like a true alpha dog of the group, and so just like they don't really they don't strike me as a group that that can hang with other factions, so I just feel like it's better to break them up, and so that's why I think this whole feud with American Made is just useless, honestly, especially if no titles are in the picture. And so I know we get Rey Mysterio. I'm sure you'll get into that. But yeah, like we'll get Rey versus Americano or whatever his name is. We'll get that at WrestleMania. And so, but yeah, those are my thoughts on that situation. I'm just tired of LWO in general.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, we get to our next segment, which is Gunther coming to the ring to address the people after his brutal attack on Jimmy Uso. But before he can even speak, Jey Uso's music hits, and as the crowd, Jey enter through the crowd, not eating at all, with a serious face, coming down to the ring. Gunther's laughing the entire time. And when Jey gets to the ring, he smacks the microphone out of and basically talks about how he's been scared the entire time. He talked to his family about, and his mom asking why he didn't protect Jimmy, and he said that it was his moment of awakening and to know that he is not afraid of Gunther anymore. And I thought this was kind of the coldest line out of all of it. He said, before the night before our match, I'm going to pray. I'm going to pray for me. I'm going to pray for you too. But I'm also going to pray to the Lord that he forgive me for the man I'm about to become when I face you and see you at Mania. And I'm getting chills just thinking about that line. That was such a cold line from Jay. And see, like we had questioned this match on this podcast before, but it was not a very good idea. It's more of just filler for the fans. Well, I think it's now the most intriguing match of it all, besides Cody and John Cena. I think they have officially elevated this to what it should be, a high-level championship matchup. What do you think, C?
They did what I've been wanting them to do. When it comes to things like this, a feud like this, and you know it's not going to be the biggest match on the card, you gotta make it. You gotta throw a little something else into it. You gotta make it personal. Mm-hmm. Up until last week, it hadn't got personal. Yeah, like throwing personal shots here and there, or making it seem like, I don't think you can beat me, or he don't have enough confidence that he can beat him. We've seen that. We saw it last year with Gunther and Sami Zayn. It was the same shit. Mm-hmm. But this year is different because it's Jey Uso. You got the whole bloodline, all that other stuff going on, the history there. And it's like, he's already beaten them, once or twice? Well, 3 times. Might be. Is it 3 times or just twice?
Just twice.
Just twice, yeah. So, like, you got that. But it still hadn't got personal enough. Like, it hadn't got to the extent that it did last week. And you needed that because everything else, all the other storylines are pretty much, set in stone. Everything is, flowing great. But with one of the main world title, the main world title, one of the main world titles in the company on the main rosters, like the fact that the Rumble winner for that match, you guys not only not main eventing, but like you at that moment you were the least like intrigued. Like a lot of people were less intrigued about your match compared to the other matches on the card. And so now, after last week, the intrigue picks up because now we want to see, all right, what was Jay going to do like this week? What was going to happen? What were we going to see? Now, to me personally, I wanted Jay, like, honestly, I saw him come down the ring. I was like, I expected him not to be doing the yeet and all that stuff. Like, then the prelude to walking out into the crowd. Like, I knew that was not going to happen. It was going to be all seriousness, even with the shades on. Like, I knew it was going to be a slow walk down. It was going to be all business, and which it was. He got in the ring. Now, personally, I would have been throwing hands. He would have had to catch the fade right up. Like it was not going to be no talking. So the fact that there was some talking, I was like, interesting. Like, he's not throwing hands. Like, he knocked the mic down. All that other jazz, but like I wanted to see hands thrown. And the fact that hands weren't thrown, I was like, okay, they're telling this a lot different than what we're expecting. They want it to be like more meaningful, like because obviously he could easily just crash out and go crazy. I'm going through. We've seen it week after week, right? But the fact that he like had this heartfelt speech or whatever, talking about his mom and why you didn't protect them, blah blah blah, and it's just like, okay, they going heartfelt right now, and it's almost like Gunther. He couldn't really say nothing. It's almost like he was left speechless. He didn't say a damn thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like that kind of added to the moment. So I'm like, okay, all right. They're not throwing hands, but it's almost like he letting them know, I'm like, dude, I'm not scared of you no more, which is weird. I'm like, I ain't gonna tell nobody I'm not scared of you no more. Like, as if like their indication that I was scared of you. Like, grown ass man. We're grown ass man here. Like, what? Like, what? Yeah, I might get my ass kicked, but I'm not scared of you. Like, I'm not scared to get my ass kicked. You know, so I thought that was weird. But anyway, but yeah, I think tonight was definitely a good follow up because I expected differently. I expected physicality and chaos, but I knew obviously it would have been a brawl and they would have broke it up as they always do every week. So, but I think this was a good like moment to have to really leave the fans wanting more and leave them, you know, intrigued on what to see how this match is going to go. Because now, man, like it's almost going to be like Kofi Mania when he wins that championship. That referee's hand hits the mat for that 3 count is going to be crazy. And the fact that it's not main event is just it'll be nice to go out and like, you know, have all the fam out there. I'm pretty sure they're gonna show like behind the scenes stuff, like, you know, after he wins, you know, the family coming to congratulate him, you know, some, you know, kayfabe stuff. But you know, I'm pretty sure that'll happen. But yeah, man, I definitely believe more so now than ever that he's gonna get this. He's gonna take this title off Gunther. You know, it sucks that Gunther got to lose a championship at back-to-back WrestleManias, but it is what it is. You know, it's, you know, that's on WWE for you know, not booking him having him have a great reign as a champion over the past like year, like or so. So yeah, those are my thoughts on it.
All right, moving on to our next match, which is a team championship match between the War Raiders and the New Day. And yeah, nothing really special about this. The only thing that was Ivar blasted Xavier Woods with the steel chair, got caught for a disqualification. Then the New Day used the chairs to retaliate and end of it. So we'll probably get this match again sometime down the road. All in all, though, nothing awe-inspiring about this matchup.
It'll be a Mania, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure too.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Move on.
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. I think the rematch will be at Mania. They'll probably have like a whatever kind of stipulation match or something like that. It's not going to be a regular match, but I think they'll have a rematch at Mania.
All right, then we go on to our next matchup, which is an intriguing one in Penta Mysterio. Before that, earlier in the night, Adam Pearce announced that Braun Breaker will defend his Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania against Penta, Finn Balor, and Dominic Mysterio. Balor was not too happy, wondering why Dominic was entered into the match. Really good back and forth with this match. What was the intriguing part was in the crowd that Dom was actually getting some cheers. He was not having his usual heat that he usually brings every time to the ring. There was still some boos, but the fact that people were chanting, "Let's go Dom," and even Michael Cole said something on the commentary. But either way, Carlito tried to interfere. It backfired. Penta for the win. Carlito then came in. Him and Mysterio started beating down Penta. Braun Breaker, some music hits, and like a shot out of a cannon. I swear, I think Toledo from 10 yards away, the way he literally flew when he went for that spear. Oh my God,
Bro,
that was
like,
unbelievable.
oh man, it was sick. It was sick.
That was unbelievable. He then spears Mysterio, then spears Penta, holds up his title tall, but then Finn Balor comes in with a backbreaker and hits him a couple of times, then hints with some cheap shots, but Breaker gets up and is going to spear Balor, but he gets out of the ring. And it may seem underwhelming, but I think the payoff is going to be so good at WrestleMania. These four are going to put on a great match. This one left a little bit more to be desired, but I just know the championship match is going to think C.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's my end or your end. It seems like it's like jumping or skipping as we're talking. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, I think that with this match, I think it's good. You know, obviously you got Dominic Mysterio being like that, being the son of a luchador, you know, and Rey Mysterio, you know, having experience against another veteran luchador and Penta. So I think obviously he can learn a lot from Penta too, you know, as the years go on. So it's like, you know, you got another guy that can potentially, you know, who knows how beneficial he could be to Dominic Mysterio in the long run. You know, hell, Dominic Mysterio could turn around and be something close to what Penta is, you know, in the future. Mm-hmm. You never know. But yeah, I thought it was a solid match. Dominic held his own. You know, I looked like for a moment when he hit that Mexican destroyer on him and with the 619, I thought, oh man, he might catch him. He might shock the world and get a win over Penta. But he put the legs up and he put the knees up, and I thought it was going to be a quick finish at that moment. But Dom kicked out. But yeah, you know, Penta just showed his his veteran presence, showing him like his levels to this, man. You ain't ready for it. So, you know, we'll see what happens at WrestleMania. But yeah, this is probably the best route to take, having a Fatal 4-Way match for the Intercontinental Championship. So yeah, I think this will be one of the best matches on the card, honestly. So we'll see how it unfolds.
All right, then we get to our main event. Well, I guess I shouldn't say main event. That match was kind of our main event. We get to our final main segment.
Yep.
Which is Paul Heyman coming to the ring to talk about the favor. He starts out by saying he is loyal to Roman Reigns, he's loyal to CM Punk, and that to get one thing straight, but of course Seth Rollins' music hits, and Seth basically planting doubt into the mind of Paul Heyman, saying, where was Roman when Jacob Fatu put you through a table? Where was CM Punk when he came back to WWE or when he left WWE? Just basically putting that doubt in there and saying the best thing that you could do right now is to remove yourself from this situation. And I can help with that. All it takes is one little stomp, to which Heyman wasn't buying it. And Rollins, knowing that CM Punk was in the building, says, well, let's see how much you're worth, since CM Punk only cares about money, and starts pushing Heyman around. And then finally he takes him into the corner and starts beating up Heyman. CM Punk's music hits. They then go out of the ring, beating each other up. And it looks like CM Punk's about to stomp Rollins onto the steel steps. Rollins gets out of the way. Punk gets back into the ring, but hits Punk with the stomp. And as Paul Heyman runs over to care for CM Punk, Rollins is lining up for a stomp on Heyman, but he stops right before he does and spares Paul Heyman and leaves by saying, "Now you owe me a favor," and walks out. I was not expecting this route. I don't know what I was expecting, if I'm being honest. I thought Heyman was going to just decide right there, but adding Rollins in with that, adding in that doubt for both sides, and also now saying you owe me a favor, that just adds more intrigue for what's going to happen at Mania. Mainly, Rollins is just there to stir the pot, and I think it's great that he's doing that. He's adding more flavor to it. But good way to end the show, I thought. See, what do you think?
Yeah, like you said, Rollins is there to stir the pot. Obviously, he feels like he's the odd man out in the situation because Paul Heyman has allegiance to both CM Punk and Roman Reigns, two individuals he essentially hates at this moment in time. Looks like I feel like he hates CM Punk more than he does Roman, because at least with Roman, there was some brotherhood there, so it's still more respect on that end. Is just when it comes to being the top man of the company, obviously it's only room for one guy at the top, and so that's what it is with that. I think I highly doubt that this is going to result in Paul Heyman joining sides, with Seth Rollins. I heard some people talking about the possibility of that happening. I don't see it. It will be so random to me. I don't see the fit, and so, and Paul has had so many Paul Heyman guys in the past, but this is not, I don't think this is one of those situations. It would just feel weird. I had no problems with the segment. I think it's pretty much like a diversion, pretty much from Seth trying to, turn Paul Heyman against, Punk and Roman, kind of make sure both competitors in that match are questioning, Paul Heyman's allegiance or his loyalty to them, so that way they can be distracted enough to have him come in and take advantage and get the win. I look at it as a page out of Edge's book, that ultimate opportunist, playbook, where you just look for any and all opportunity to get an advantage on your opponent. So, and Seth being, the architect, the visionary, the revolutionary, he has that mindset. He's looking to do all that he can to get under his opponent's skin and to get any type of advantage that he can. All props to him, man. We'll see. SmackDown shall be a very interesting show. And next week's the go home. Next week is the go home.
Next week's go home show. Yep.
So for both Raw and SmackDown, so I wouldn't be surprised if they're on both shows next week. But yeah, man, it's business is picking up, man. So I think we'll see what happens on Friday. The continuation of this, and then so is this next week. See what happens after that. So, yeah, I had no issue with it.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was a great Monday Night Raw for sure. And speaking of go home shows for next week, we are also hosting a very special week weekend for the We Book It podcast. We are having a We Book It Watch-a-mania, I believe is what we're calling it now, where we are going to do live watches all weekend long Friday Night SmackDown and the Hall of Fame will be a live watch. Saturday, NXT Stand and Deliver will be a live watch. Live watch, obviously, for night 1 of WrestleMania and night 2 of WrestleMania. So please feel free to join in with all of us here at the We Book It podcast. We are really looking forward to it, and we just want to share the love of wrestling with each and every one of you. It is going to be a very special weekend, and we hope you all can join us.
Yeah, this is a first for us. We've made it past a year of the pod being active. So this is our second WrestleMania that we're gonna do. So we wanted to do something a lot bigger this year. So that includes doing live reactions and watch-alongs with everything that's happening. No, we're not gonna watch the. Oh, well, I don't even think they're going live stream for the Undertaker one match. Yeah, we're not going to do that.
We're not doing that one.
But no, as it pertains to SmackDown and the Hall of Fame, and are they streaming the Hall of Fame on Peacock, or is it?
It's going to be on Peacock, yeah.
Peacock, okay, yeah. So we'll be streaming that essentially back to back. And then we'll on Saturday be NXT Stand and Deliver, as well as night 1 of WrestleMania, and then obviously for night 2, WrestleMania. So yeah, stay tuned. Watch if you can. We'll be streaming on YouTube and Twitch. I wouldn't be surprised if we have it streaming on Twitter as well. So just be on the lookout for all of that. So yeah. Anything else you got, Coach?
Nah, that's all I got. And thank you all for tuning in to tonight. This has been another edition of Monday Night Raw Dog. Join us next week for the Go Home Show before WrestleMania 41. I expect big things on that episode. So thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
Peace, y'all.